Hello, Lucas. Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
So let's have a chat about different things.
Sure.
Talk about the medicine, different medicines, your experience that you feel comfortable to share with people. So, if you want to just kind of briefly share something about yourself and how you got to psychedelics and what was the plant you started with, and we just kind of take from there.
So was introduced to psychedelics through a friend as a teenager when I was 17, and that was LSD the first time. And then quickly we started exploring psilocybin mushrooms, and then that kind of became my foundation. That's what I used the most over the years. I'm 44 now, so mushrooms is really what I became the most familiar with. But throughout the years, I've explored some other plants. Unfortunately, I developed an addiction to pain pills later in my life, and that led me to Iboga, which completely stopped my addiction, and I haven't used since. That was 3 years ago. I've also experienced the bufo, the toad from northern Mexico. This is part of the healing from the addiction as well. It went with the Iboga. And DMT as well in my 20s. But I would say the plant teacher I'm more familiar with are mushrooms.
Okay. So how you got to ayahuasca, Huachuma later on? What was your thought?
So Huachuma, I've known about it since forever. Soon after the first few experiences with LSD, I dove into the literature. I read the botany. I read a lot about psychedelics in general, and I discovered the existence of San Pedro, Huachuma back then, so 25 years ago. But and then I kind of forgot about it, and it's not very popular where I live in California, so I just never really thought about it much until I started preparing for a trip in South America. This was 12 years ago, and I was nearby in Bolivia, and then it just never happened. Huachuma never kind of popped up during the trip. I didn't really look for it very seriously, and on this trip, 2019, I knew that it was part of what I wanted to do. I needed to reconnect with myself. I needed the introspection and the work that these plants bring, and I was adamant about trying Huachuma. Ayahuasca I haven't tried yet, and so that led me to you. Yeah, basically.
So after spending with us some time, what can you tell about this medicine in general, and then maybe in comparison to other plants? The purpose of this is to show people that different medicines have different purposes, and at different times in your life you need a different plant teacher to work with. So maybe just share something about that.
Yeah, so Huachuma is a very powerful healing plant, most definitely. It's an incredible introspection tool. It really kind of helps you shed a lot of the constructs and the frames that you experience life through. It kind of bares your soul, and it allows you to look at yourself in the more core, fundamental way. It connects you very powerfully to nature. So where you come from, we're a part of nature, and it really reminds you in a very deep way that your greater family on this planet is all of nature. You come from nature. So that's a very strong kind of takeaway from Huachuma. And it does that with in a very gentle way. Again, it's known as the grandfather medicine, and it really seems to kind of hold your hand and guide you through your own life, through your fundamental connection. It's a very enlightening experience. It's a very powerful connector, and it's a very powerful cleaning experience. experience. You really shed all the crap in your life that's kind of getting in the way of your personal progress and your, maturing, and it helps you see things clearly. Mushrooms also kind of does that, but there's something much more clear about Huachuma. There's and gentle, dependably gentle. So, and as you progress through ceremonies, every other day as we've been doing it here, there's an empowering, the quality of the way the plant empowers you and illuminates you and guides you. It's just it has a different flavor and energy as you build, on one experience after the other. And it's just a very strengthening, true, honest vision of yourself in the world that you inherit from it. It really bears your soul, but not in a frightening way, in a gentle way. I mean, it's intense medicine, but it's not scary medicine. It's loving medicine. And, it heals you along with all the plants and animals that are around you. It just kind of activates what's important in reality. A lot of what we've lost is as modern humans. So it's kind of a voyage back in time, I feel like, at the same time. I always have these visions of myself as a hunter-gatherer. That happened several times on these last few experiences. I felt very primitive, but in a very whole and complete way. Super rich experience.
How would you compare it with the mushroom experience?
So mushrooms is a visually, maybe there's much more distortion. It's much more visual. It might be less soulful. I mean, there's also introspection. There's also a lot of interesting work, but it can be a little more unsettling. It shakes you differently. It's not as well-meaning as Huachuma can be. Again, Huachuma seems to be more protective. So, I don't know, maybe there's a different type of clarity and you're held a little differently with Huachuma. It's more caring. And it's an extremely powerful experience. It's very healing. And I really feel like it's going to carry me for a while, especially having done several experiences in a row like that. It's like activated for the long term.
So do you think this experience would now influence or guide you through your mushroom experience next time you take mushrooms?
Yeah, they all seem to be complementary in my experience. I see it as wearing a bunch of different glasses, and the more plant medicines you take, you become kind of like a fly that has a lot of eyes. Each plant enriches the other plant. I mean, and it also, the more experiences you have, the more control in a sense you have, the less fear and anxiety you may have, the less chance of going in a darker direction. You feel comfortable in the space that the plants put you in. So they they definitely complement each other, and each experience enriches the other, and it's like, it's a multifaceted experience. So you're covering more and more ground, getting a clearer picture. But it's continuous work. You can keep digging and digging and digging, whether it be personally in your life, in your emotions, or in your vision of the world we live in.
So, why do you think there is such a strong resistance to sacred plants in general from spiritual leaders?
Well, in a way, the sacred plants are a direct line to spirit. Organized religion, gurus, you're in, it's dogma, it's institutional, it's someone else's framework, it's someone else's guidebook, someone else's explanation that you are adhering to, and whereas here you're on your own. The plant just turns on what all of us have already naturally. The spirit is within us, all this understanding is within us, the connection is within us. We're just in a society that has taken us away from nature for millennia, and which has asked us to rely on outside sources, monotheism,
easily controlled,
organized religion, it's social control. It all goes together. With these plants, all those frames fall apart. All that architecture, all that organization of control, it just dissolves, and you are just straight connection to the sky, straight connection to the ground, straight connection to all the living things around you, and the wisdom just flows naturally out of you. You're your own healer. You don't need anyone else. It's all there. It's very... Mother Nature did things very well.
I agree with
the God is within. So this reminds you that we're holy already. I mean, everything's already in here. It's a question of accessing it. So these plants allow you to access these things.
I completely agree with that. And for me personally, Huachuma is my favorite one. It's just a plant that is compatible with my psychology and physiology more than any other plant. I can relate to this direct access on a very personal level. That's how I experienced it. So what else would you like to share about staying with us here?
Well, it was a marvelous experience being here. It's like being with family. It's your family is fantastic, very warm. Mercedes, your children, Mia. You just feel at home here. It's loving. It's a kind environment. We have a lot of fun. We laugh a lot. The group that I've been here with was particularly wonderful, and we bonded rather quickly, and I'll miss everyone a lot. No, it's just it's a healing environment. The rooms are very comfortable. We're in a really quiet, beautiful location in this high altitude valley, cornfield next door. It's just such a soothing place. At the end of each ceremony, we come home, we have dinner together, we share the day. What more could you ask for? Honestly, I'm thrilled I came. This is a high point of my trip here. I knew it would be a high point, but it really turned out to be seriously the best part of my trip. So
what are you taking back with you?
A greater sense of purpose, direction. I'm just more grounded, and I've been able to make certain decisions about my life that were not clear before I got here, and I realized I needed to get home to be with certain people that need my support right now. I was a little bit confused before arriving here. My trip didn't exactly turn out the way I planned it, but maybe it did turn out the way it needed to turn out. So I'm going home early, but really strengthened by what I did here. Big time. So talked to that I maybe had trouble reaching, and I think, I don't know, I'm coming home with a different energy than when I left. More constructive, more focused, more focused.
The path is clearer.
The path is clear, yeah, for sure.
So what would you say to people who are curious about this kind of experiences, but they are held back by a certain ideology and fear that comes with it?
I would say, look, come for 10 days, 2 weeks, a week, whatever time you have, and with your guidance, you know this medicine very well. You've built a relationship with it over the years. You're a shaman. This is your work. And what's great about doing this with you is that you can introduce the person slowly at a low dose and progressively. Again, it's a very gentle experience. There's no need to be afraid of the plant, of the cactus. You just do have to leave some of your judgment behind and your preconceptions, and you have to experience it. There's no other way to talk about these medicines without experiencing them. Even a very small amount will turn things on. So you have to try it.
So what would you say to people who practice yoga or meditation or other spiritual disciplines and who are afraid to experience this, thinking that this can somehow invalidate their own practice?
It's completely just amplifies any kind of other spiritual work you would be doing. There's a gentleman with us in the group that we've been with for 10 days, Larry, and he's a meditator, and he understands very well that these plant medicines are fantastic complements. They breathe so much extra life into all that work. So again, they amplify in a very positive and strengthening way all those different modalities, such as yoga, meditation, etc. I mean, these are kind of shortcuts to higher levels of consciousness that could take 20 years to reach through simple meditation.
And in the world today, we just don't have 20 years.
No.
We just don't have the luxury of time to do things like that.
We're in a time of complete absence of consciousness.
We need to raise it as fast as this corn grows.
Yeah.
If we want to have a future, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not against the spiritual practices. I think they're all good, but it's kind of a slow path. And maybe before that was fine, and this is why the medicine wasn't available too. But today the medicine becomes so available.
We're in a state of
in the
complete
last 10
urgency.
years. Yes.
Complete urgency.
Just there is no time to play around. I see only time to wake up and start taking action that can impact your life and the people around you in a positive, constructive way.
Of course. The matrix is tightening around us. And the weapons of mass distraction are multiplying at a speed that we've never seen before.
Around, the pollution, the
destruction of the planet,
identity crisis, and
social alienation.
You name.
Yeah.
You name
it's all falling apart around us. Yeah.
So this medicine, person, to me, it's just the anchor into reality, the anchor into my humanity.
Completely. Completely. That's a good way of putting it.
How would you say?
It anchors you in your humanity. I couldn't find a better way to explain it. Because again, in our natural state, we are kind, compassionate, deeply social animals, and these medicines bring us back to that knowledge and feeling, and remind us that we need to beware of all these distractions and this propaganda and this indoctrination and these screens, these constant screens everywhere, and this social alienation, which is typical result of the modern world, the Western way of seeing our place in the universe. You know, above nature, separate from animals, dominating, hierarchy. They've got it all wrong. And the plants clearly tell you the opposite.
And the obsession with technology.
Yeah, and the obsession with technology.
Which is a different, which is an opposite direction from what we do.
Of course.
What we want, you know.
This is the real technology.
Oh, this is ancient technology.
This is ancient technology.
Ancient spiritual technology. Yeah. That's true. That's exactly what it is. It's a technology connection and exploration that unfortunately is illegal in most of the world.
Most of the world, yeah.
Which, when we think about this, it's just absurd. To me,
completely absurd.
It's just absurd. I'm not even angry about this anymore. It's just beyond that. I was before, but now it's just absurd.
The world is completely
it's
upside
insane.
down. Yeah.
We live in inverted reality. You know?
Inverted
what's
reality.
good considers to be bad, and what's bad considers to be good.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sometimes I feel like there is no hope actually for the future.
I'm completely pessimistic.
You know?
Unfortunately.
But at the same time, there is. It's like it's not a contradiction, but there is plant medicine and the path of connection and self-exploration and self-discovery and sharing and caring. So there is that light that kind of shines through the darkness. The question is, I guess, is how fast we're moving towards the point of no return.
Yeah, how much time do we have?
Exactly, as a humanity.
The window
how much time
the window
we have before the air we breathe now will not be good for breathing. That's the thing. On a personal level, I mean, you can see the results quickly. You just work with this medicine short time and you see changes in you, you know. But is it enough?
Yeah.
Is it enough to change the world, to change the way things are going? I don't know. I don't have the answer for the question. I believe that we still need to try and.
Regardless, it seems like the best way anyway.
It's a natural way, you know, fighting for life. You know.
It can only be an extremely positive addition to your life.
If nothing else.
If nothing else,
yeah.
at least you're awake, completely awake, and completely connected.
People around.
And yeah, exactly.
You're providing that platform where people can open up and leave their fears behind and live a more fulfilling life. You know, and hopefully we do make a difference on the bigger scale.
Definitely, no doubt about that.
So, what else would you like to tell to people who would see this interview and will think about what I have to say?
You won't regret coming here. You really won't regret coming here. What else could I add? I mean, above and beyond all the wonderful work that you do here and the incredible location, there's so much to explore around here. You know, maybe you start your trip with some time here. You clear all your channels. You open your mind, and then you head for the mountains to go trek for a couple weeks. That's the way I would do it next time I come. Yeah.
Well, Peru is a very rich country.
Yeah.
For sure, you know, it was robbed by the Spanish. The gold was taken, but not the spirit.
No, definitely not the spirit.
It remained here.
I can see why you moved here.
Yes, I feel home here. I love these mountains. I feel myself here. I feel being me, you know. And I like that. I like to be that kind of me, that version of me.
Yeah. You might have a new neighbor soon.
That happens. You know? That happens.
No, this was an exceptional. I was here 11 days. It was exceptional. So
It goes
thank you very much.
Over the time.
Yeah.
You know,
and I'll be back. Hopefully for a month.
Yeah, we can do more work for sure.
But Huachuma, discovery of Huachuma was immense.
Yeah. You know? That's how it was for me after doing all the drugs and psychedelics and all kind of things that I did before while searching for teaching. the way, When I discovered this medicine, things just changed. I just dropped everything else and I don't need it.
This is what you resonate with.
Yes. I resonate with medicine 100%. I recognize that in the first ceremony. And I just saw me in it. I just saw a better version of me. A bigger me.
Right.
But it wasn't alien. It was very familiar.
It had always been there, you just couldn't see it until then.
It just resonates with my childhood. When we were kids, we lived like that. This is how I saw the world when I was 5. Happy, full of wonder. I remember the experience of joy and love. And
of course. We're psychedelic as children.
Yeah.
Children are psychedelic until they're heavily socialized.
Then
they learn the rule book, the societal rule book.
And this connection kind of get blurred.
Right.
And then get,
because it's playful also.
Suppressed.
This Huachuma is very playful.
Very.
And humorous.
Very. That's what I like about the spirit.
Yeah.
It's incredibly wise. But it's playful.
Yeah.
Happy, playful. And it wants you to be happy. It wants you to be that.
And beautiful.
Very beautiful.
I mean, beautiful. So
this is how I felt when I was a kid, and I
Right.
guess other people can relate to it too.
Same here.
And that's the whole thing. Is that when we grow up, we kind of become something else. Luckily for me, I am what I was. But it was a lot of personal work, a lot of drugs and psychedelics and soul searching and books, So I was seeking to remain that, And with the medicine, it's just so easy to be that.
Oh yeah, your inner child, which is yearning to come back to the surface, is pulled out of you naturally with this. Yeah. And you shine as a 5-year-old does, and you play in nature as a 5-year-old does.
Yes.
And your sense of wonder is, and curiosity, and your smile, and
your eyes,
your joy of being alive, and your gratefulness, your gratefulness.
And I see so much healing coming through this. When you reach that state of consciousness, when you're fully present, fully connected, fully alive, fully conscious.
It's marvelous.
That's where this happens. You just connect to this source of healing.
And then the bullshit becomes more obvious as you return home. It's like, oh right,
and
okay,
it's easier to drop it.
Yeah, I don't need these things anymore.
To let go of things that doesn't help your life.
Frivolous.
It's just you see clearer that this is a burden that I don't have to carry.
Yeah.
This is a barrier that blocks me from being happy. So the decision kind of
makes
easy
itself,
to make.
Yeah,
it makes itself.
You shed all
Just
this like excess weight, just
find freedom.
get off. Getting in my way.
Yeah, find freedom.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Well, anything else you want to add before we wrap up here?
No, I think we've covered
Good.
good
I feel
ground.
like you say it all.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can talk for hours more, but I think we've made the point.
I know that I'm coming home with a really full heart,
That's important.
And the hugs I give the people I love will be that much more meaningful and warmer and richer.
And your words
maybe I'll give them some of my healing, right?
Your words will be just as warm and kind and compassionate and understanding.
Yeah. Because that's all we have. No. Fantastic experience.
Okay, Lucas, well, thank you very much. We enjoyed
Thank
having
you,
you here.
Yeah.
I
was
always
very happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to share this medicine. It's the joy of sharing this with others. It goes beyond expression, magnified.
Yeah, you found a wonderful way of life.
Yeah.
As a healer.
I'm very grateful for that, and I'm doing everything I can to maintain that and improve that and facilitate in a better way. Okay, Lucas.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, man.
You're welcome.
Cheers.